Hello and welcome back to my craft room. The first thing I'm going to do is apologise if you can hear the dog barking in the background. I've been waiting for it to stop, but I think we'll be here till Christmas. Hopefully it's not picking that up. Or if the building noises start again on the other side, I apologise for that too. I just got no control over noise at all at the moment. It's driving me nuts. Anyway, I have had a very busy and exciting few days with the great big little stitchery swap taking off like he did. It has just blown me away. Chuffed to bits about that. However, I am very much aware that not all of my lovely viewers enjoy stitching. Some people like me enjoy a bit of everything, but some people aren't into stitching at all and love all the more arty things. So what I'm going to do is this was suggested by a couple of people. Dawn Jones in the Facebook group was one of them. A couple of people have mentioned that it might be nice to do a kind of similar thing for the arty people. So let's go for it. I hope it's going to be just as much fun and just as much of a success as the stitchery version. So I'm going to call it the Great Big Little Art Swap. The hashtag is going to be, I've checked, no one else seems to be using it, hashtag Art Swapsters. If we just put Art Swap, there's lots of other people doing it. Art Swapsters. I will put it here. So if you post anything about it on any of the social media platforms, just use that hashtag and then we'll all be able to find each other more easily. I will, as with the stitchery swap, I will make an art swap room in our Discord community so that you can connect with each other there and arrange to swap, and I will do the same as I did before in the Facebook group as well, so you can find each other and then personal message each other to swap addresses securely. Please don't anybody swap any personal details, emails or anything. I did see one person doing that and I was a bit worried for them. Don't put your emails or anything out in public in the group. It's only us in the group, but you know, it's an open group. Personal message the person, you just need to reply to their comments on their post or whatever, or if they reply to your post, just say yep I'm up for that, I'll PM you, and just and personal message them. If you're not sure how to do it, please just ask me, just shout up in the group, someone will let you know. I don't want anybody giving out their addresses to to the world. Anyway, that aside, let's talk about what it means. So it's going to be just to say, I bet I haven't got that square now. I think I must have left it downstairs. You don't really need it, it's just a pink square of card. I can't do a square. So if you would like to join in with the Great Big Little Art Swap, the idea is that you will create little miniature pieces of art, just 10 centimetres square. You will need to include your name so your recipient knows who it's come from, especially if, like me, if it's like the stitchery swap, I'm going to end up with quite a few. Make sure you do include your name, but absolutely no obligation to include anything else. I know with swaps these things can get a bit out of hand with you feeling like you've got to put extra things in and what have you. Don't. Keep it really simple. If we keep it flat and it's just a 10 centimetre or 4-inch square, it will just fit in a normal little envelope. You could put it inside a card if you wanted to, just to keep, because especially if you're going to think about posting overseas, you know, you've got to think about the cost of postage, especially if you're going to do quite a few. But when you go so if you haven't already looked at what's happening with the stitchery swap, basically you'll go into the Facebook group or into the Discord group. If you're in the Discord community, I'll put a little special art swap room and you can go in there and say, hi everybody, I'm in the UK or Australia or America or wherever it might be, and I want to swap with people all over the world, or I want to swap with people only in my own country. So you choose how much, you know, and if you just want to swap with one person, that's fine. If you want to swap with 50 people, go for it. I'm going to suggest this time that we have an open deadline, and that's me being purely selfish. We made the deadline for posting the 31st of August for the stitchery swap, but because I'm doing that as well and I've got nearly 50 squares to do, if we have the same deadline for the art one, I'm not going to have time to do both, and I really want to join in with both. I just think it's going to be such a lovely way to celebrate the friendships that we've started to form all over the world through the internet, through YouTube and all the other social platforms, and you know, by sharing these lovely hobbies of ours. I just think it's really nice, and they feel like really real friendships to me, even though we might never meet in person. And I just think it's going to be a lovely way to celebrate that. So I'm going to have a little book of stitch squares and a little book of tiny art pieces. Now, one really, really important thing that I want to say is that it doesn't have to be a beautiful work of art. It can be a little bit of doodling. It could, if you're just a beginner, please don't be put off doing this. It's just a little square. It doesn't need to be anything fancy. You don't need to be a wonderful artist. It's just sending a little piece of yourself, a little, to have a little piece of that person in my little book. That's why, don't worry that it's got to be a beautiful piece of finished artwork. It doesn't, mine won't be. Now, I have got a few ideas of really kind of simple things you could do and ways to kind of get going. And what I'm going to do is a series. I'll do it this week. I'm going to start as soon as I finish this video. I will make a start, so I won't keep you waiting. Of just really simple ideas you could do just to create some little squares. I shall be doing mine in batches, to assuming anybody wants to swap with me. I might not get any swaps, but if it's like the stitchery one, I'll get more swaps than I can cope with, and I'll get to a point where I do have to say sorry, I can't take any more this time. If it goes really well, we'll do another round later on. What else do I need to say now? Dawn Jones in the Facebook group, who sort of messaged me, and we chatted about this a bit online the other day. We've only just been thinking about it. She suggested coming up with a few ideas. She can do a post in the Facebook group. I'm going to do some videos of simple ideas as well. If anyone else has got any ideas of things you might do, if you've got a YouTube channel and you want to do a post within the Facebook group or the Discord community, please do. There's a members link room in the Discord community as well, so you can link up. If you're doing any videos to do with this, you can link up in there if people want ideas and things. So just to give you a rough idea, let me go take you to the desk a minute. This was going to be really, really fast, but as always, I'm waffling. Early in the morning, black coffee. So these are just some of the ideas I was having that I might do some just short video. I will do some short videos this week just to show you. So if you watched the live the other day, you might have done, I started creating this background. I did one on fabric for neurographic stitching, and I did this one using Brushos and Cosmic Shimmer Pixie Powders, which you just sprinkle on, and then spritz with water. And then I left this one. I thought I'll come back when these have dried and do some more in the other areas. So I'm going to do a big sheet like this and cut it into my 10cm squares and doodle on them. Just use this as the background. And then probably I will then mount them on a slightly larger square to give me that margin, that extra centimetre margin all around. And then I'll write my name on the back of it. I might sign the front. I'm not very good at signing things. So that is going to be I like the idea of making a big sheet and then cutting it up to create backgrounds to work on. And there's a few different ways of doodling. I was watching Scrapping Lizzie Brewer. I will leave a link to her. I was watching her the other day, and she was doing a circle doodle thing. She's doing a whole book of circles. So I'm going to have a go at that. Neurographic art I love. A little tiny piece of neurographic art would be great. All kinds of Zentangle things. Anyone who's into Zentangle, this would be a great way, because you tend, it's traditionally you work in square tiles for Zentangle anyway. Lettering, if you like doing lettering or calligraphy or anything, that's an art form in itself, isn't it? Little miniature versions of the gorgeous galaxy paintings like Zoe Hartist does. I'll leave a link to Zoe Hartist as well. I can't do them like she does them, but I will give it my best shot. I'll probably mask the planets and I'll do some splattering and things. This eye is just representing, you could just do a drawing, if you just want to do a little drawing in pencil on a white piece of paper, or you want to do some pen and ink or whatever, anything you like to do is fine. This is meant to represent a colouring page. Now, there's no reason why you couldn't cut a section out of one of those kind of adult colouring pages, and just a little square section, and just mount that on your piece and do some colouring in with whatever you like to use for colouring in. This one's representing collage. You could use napkins or scrapbook papers or book pages. You could colour them with inks and paints and add to whatever you like. Add some little cut out words to it. Mag dolls. You might have seen me do before. I make funny faces and funny little dolls using features cut from different models in magazines, so that the eyes will end up bigger than they should be, and a different mouth on a different face. Yeah, it's sort of Frankenstein dollies. You could do little faces like that. There's plenty of room in a 10 centimetre square, and just perhaps a word on there or something. Here I've just put dies and stamps, so anybody who's done, like me, has done some card making or scrapbooking, whatever, in the past, you might have some dies and stamps, and you could just do some inked backgrounds and colour in some stamped images, or do some paper piecing with dies, all sorts of things. And then finally, this one's about working in series. Have I got that handy? Okay, after 5 minutes searching, it was staring me in the face all along. So I was working in this art journal a little while ago, doing the Badass art journaling. Lost my way with it a bit, haven't come back to it for a few weeks. This is where I just rolled off my paint after each painting session to sort of start, messing up the cover. So in one of these, so this is one of these lovely concertina sketchbooks. This was sent to me by my lovely friend Gabby. In one of these I was doing, here we go. Unfortunately, I can't remember the name of the teacher who took us through this now, but basically this was like working in a series where you do the whole lot at once. You do the same thing to the whole background. In this case, I used masking tape to just split between, and I probably would do it for this swap as well. So a similar idea where you apply masking tape first to separate this would be squares out, and then you start working, you do layer by layer. You do a background layer, then you put some more colour in the background, then you do some stamping, then you add some bits of paper, then you do it all at once. And in this case we picked one kind of unifying shape, and I nearly always pick a circle, but you could pick a heart, you could pick a triangle, whatever, that helped to kind of unify everything. And it was really fast, easy and fun. And then when you came to peel it off, you realised you've got all of these separate little pieces. Now you could definitely do something like this. So I'm going to go through this process. I think I might have videoed this one anyway, but I'm going to go through this process for some of my art swaps, and I'll film that as well, just to give you an idea, because it comes out looking like little separate pieces of art, but it's actually, you haven't really thought about it as you've gone along at all, hardly at all. It just kind of does itself. So it's a really fun thing, and I think as long as you've got some bits of paper and things you can cut up and some paint, really, you can do this easily. I promise. But of course, there's lots of people out there who are already very confident and know what they like doing, and if you've got your favourite kind of art to do, then go for it. Another thing now, why isn't that here? Have I managed to miss that out? Another thing that I love is what Rachel so she's called Rachel Brereton. I'll put her, let me write that down. I'll put her Instagram, jot that down so I don't forget. And she's Arelai, I don't know how you say it, in our Discord group, so you'll know her there if you're in the Discord group. But she does these amazing kind of watercolour. She'll make a watercolour background, all kind of ombre, and then she doodles on top of it with white or metallic pens and things. She makes it look so easy. But I do think I could manage a version of that. So I'm going to have a closer look at some of the things that she's done and see if I can do some of those. But yeah, so the gist of what I'm saying is, it doesn't need to be difficult, it doesn't need to be anything fancy, it doesn't need to be a beautiful, polished work of art by any means. It's just sending a little piece of yourself and what you love to do, perhaps the colours that you like best or whatever. You can stick some little words on it, whatever you like to do. Anything goes, really, as long as it goes flat on a piece of card and it's a little visual piece of art, is fine. So I think that's kind of all I need to say for now. I'm going to put a little art swap room in the Discord, and I'm going to start an event in the Facebook group. But in practice, no, I'm not going to bother doing an event this time because most people didn't use it. Some people did, and then you won't find each other. Just go into the group, make a post saying, I want to do the great big little art swap, or just I want to do the art swap. I'm looking for swapsters in whatever country or countries that you're happy to swap in, and then people can reply to you and you can connect there. I'm not going to bother making an event because otherwise, if some people go in the event and some people just post in the main page, you're going to miss each other. So let's keep it simple. But if you go into the Discord group, find the art swap room. It'll be one of the rooms that's listed down the left hand side. I'm trying to do the left for you. Any questions, just ask. I'm just sort of cobbling this together because I've really not given it an awful lot of thought. But I do hope that just as many people will be excited about this as we have for the stitchery swap. It's just brilliant. It's just blown me away. Okay, so I will see you again tomorrow with my first idea for some of the things you could do if you want to join in this swap idea. That's it. That's all I've got to say. Let me know what you think in the comments. Are you up for it? Thanks very much for joining me today, and I'll see you again tomorrow.